Hello and welcome to the Awaken Spirit YouTube channel. My name is Melanie Sheree. I'm a lifelong medium and spiritual teacher, and today I'm going to be talking about the two paths that I see. Oh, that's four. The two paths that I see people taking once they experience a spiritual awakening. And I really see it like this. The first path, and what most people tend to do when they go into a spiritual awakening, is they deny. They fight it, they resist it, they try to shove it down, they try to make that awareness of spirit go away. And whether that's noticing other people's energy, being highly tuned into and sensitive to other people's emotions, starting to get really overwhelmed and anxious by everything they're noticing, seeing spirit, hearing spirit, getting all of the repeating numbers, signs, and symbols from the universe, vivid dreams, deja vu. I mean, the list goes on, right? As soon as you really open that door and you're starting to get all of that, maybe it's even verbal communication, a lot of times people will just run and they will hide from that. And I will tell you from my own personal experience, I did that for so many years. When I was very young, I started seeing, noticing, hearing spirit and interacting with spirit. And as I got older, I was led to believe that that meant that I had a vivid imagination, that there was nothing there, it was all made up. And I kind of more or less gaslit myself into believing that there was maybe something wrong with me for noticing all of that stuff. And especially the level of sensitivity that I had, which outwardly was explained to me to be a major problem in our society. Once I kind of came to that realization that I wasn't like everybody else, I started doing therapy. I started taking prescription medications. I searched for an answer to the problem of my sensitivity. When I really started to notice spirit, and I decided that the outward validation for that from society, from doctors, from therapists, from my peers, from my family, essentially would mean that I was crazy for noticing those things since other people didn't notice them. I really tried to make it go away. So a lot of people take this route, and unfortunately, what ends up happening is once you've kind of opened that door and you're aware of spirit and you're starting to notice energy and it's coming in and you're avoiding it and you're pretending like it's not there, you're really shutting down that connection to your higher self, knowing your purpose and that connection with everything that is that universal consciousness. Once you go to do that, you're going to probably start to feel way worse. It's like being given a gift of the plan of your life, the connection to everything that is, the force, as they describe it in Star Wars, and saying no. So when you decide not to embrace that, a lot of times what happens for people is they get really anxious, they start to isolate, they start to feel like things are getting worse, they don't know how to manage those things, they keep trying to kind of make it go away, and it never really does. But there's this deep rift that happens within yourself. And it is in really denying that part of yourself and only assuming that you are a meat robot, only a body, where you start to become really anxious, you start to become depressed, you start to feel like things just aren't working out in your favor, you can't find your way in life, you don't want to be here anymore, things just get really hard. And again, I don't recommend the first route. The second route that you can really take in recognizing and starting to open up to your spiritual abilities and your connection with spirit is to fully embrace your spiritual abilities. And a lot of people are afraid to go route two because going route two is equally as challenging in its own special way. So, a lot of what I see come up for people when they start to open up to their spiritual gifts and embrace their intuitive abilities is this really deep fear around seeing and interacting with spirit, spirit being out of control. Does opening up to my spiritual abilities mean that all of a sudden I'm going to start seeing ghosts 24/7? The answer to that is no. You won't start seeing them 24/7. Unless you already are, then you really need to go route two. But my point being, your spiritual gifts are going to open up in a way where they are going to be just enough for you to be able to manage. So, a lot of times, what happens for people is as they go down route two, as they start to open up to their spiritual gifts, there's a lot of fear that comes up. There's a lot of fighting, trying to move into that space. There's a lot of second guessing yourself, questioning if it's real, questioning if you're going crazy, wondering if other people have the same experiences. Are you going to be alone in this journey? Are you going to have other people who understand you, see you, validate you, and have experienced the very same things? It's a lot to unpack, and that is very much why it becomes a journey. So, when you really commit to and decide that you're going to go route two, it is so incredibly important to begin to validate the things you experience. In validating the experiences that you currently have, they will begin to open up more and more, and they'll begin to make more sense. The other, probably most important thing, equally as important thing, if you will, when you go down this journey is really being able to have tools and techniques to help you move through the energy that comes up. Because really, what you're doing when you're stepping into that space of opening up your spiritual abilities is you're deconstructing all of the different layers of invalidation and pain and energy that you've been holding on to that's no longer serving you, limits that you've created for yourself, old identities, and all of that's moving through your energetic space as you're stepping into your awareness of spirit and ultimately realigning yourself with that higher self knowing. And in that process, if you don't have the tools to begin to manage the stuff that needs to release, as well as the energy that's coming in that you're beginning to notice, it's a lot. It's a lot. So, it's twofold in the route of really deepening into your spiritual abilities. You really have to embrace the fact that you are not losing your mind, really validate yourself, begin to really allow those things to open up, and for the things that are no longer serving you to release and to fall away out of your life. There's a deep surrender that has to happen, as well as really anchoring into some type of practice that helps you to begin to manage all of that energy that you're sifting through, and ultimately the energy that you're noticing and taking on from the world. So, if you'd like to learn how to do that, I do teach beginner psychic development classes that are open to everybody. They are called the Awaken Spirit classes. They're held every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time via Zoom. And when you sign up, all of the previous classes are kind of archived and you get access to those, as well as student discount sessions. I also offer a women's psychic development training program called Awakening Sanctuary, and it is the whole shebang. Awakening Sanctuary is a space where you will receive one-to-one mentorship throughout the program. You'll have a community of like-minded souls that are going through the training and are kind of on that journey with you. They've had the same experiences. People come in from all different ranges of experience. People who have been practitioners and Reiki certified and therapists, doctors, lawyers. We also have people who are just starting off and are interested in starting to open up to their spiritual gifts. So there's really a wide range of people that come into the program, but it's really such an awesome space. You're not only getting the psychic development training, you're getting the Wednesday classes that I just spoke about, somatic breathwork and nervous system regulation classes, that one-to-one mentorship throughout the program, community of like-minded peers, healing clinics, which are group healing spaces where you can come and receive a healing to help you move through the energy that you've been kind of wading through for some time. And honestly, there's just a lot more involved in the program. So if you're interested, please feel free to reach out. I will link everything below. Thanks for stopping by today. And if you learned anything from this video, please, 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 if you're starting to open up in your spiritual awakening journey, know that you do not have to do it alone. You are not crazy. There's nothing wrong with you. You are psychic. You're not too sensitive. You are sensitive to energy. So everything will be linked below. And please feel free to reach out anytime.